Halo teman-teman, sekarang 16 Februari 2023. Saya mau sidang tesis hari ini jam 14.00. Ya biar cepat selesai S2-nya dan bisa melanjutkan aktivitas berikutnya. S3 mungkin nggak tahu, pengennya filsafat tapi kita lihat nanti aja. Ngos-ngosan juga. Jadi seragamnya harus pakai alma mater, baju putih. Untung aja masih sedikit muat. Oke, langsung sidang. Baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, supervisor, co-supervisor, examiner, and co-examiner. Thank you for guiding me and testing me in today's thesis presentations opportunity. Let me introduce myself. My name is Van Zemailonda. I'm from West Sumatra. My educational history is I graduate from diploma degree at Nurtani University, Bandung. My major is avionics. Avionics is a science about aircraft electrical. And then I continue my study in bachelor program degree in the same university. My major is electrical engineering. And then now I am a master degree student at Telkom University. My major is electrical engineering. I will present the result of my research. The title of my research is Performance Analysis of the Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast from Flight Data Recorder in Papuan Airspace. There are 4 contents in these presentations. The first introduction, the second concept analysis, the third analysis, and the last one conclusion or suggestion. Introduction. World Civil Aviation regulations require all aircraft to use the automatic dependent surveillance broadcast system. This policy is regulated by ACAO in Annex 10 Aeronautical Telecommunication and Annex 11 Air Traffic Services. This regulation was also stipulated in Indonesian civil aviation by the Ministry of Transportation in air transportation, was also the Airworthiness Service for Aircraft Operation. The Directorate of General Civil Aviation in Civil Aviation Safety Regulation Document Part 91, Article 226, Number 81, of 2018 to implement Aviation Law Number 1 of 2009 concerning civil aviation safety in Indonesia. From this policy, we can interpret that it is important for the ADS-B monitoring system in the modern era to support information disclosure as it is today. However, the authors found that many airspace in Indonesia, especially its Indonesian airspace, were not monitored by the ADS-B system and were not even supervised for a long durations of up to 1 hour or more. So that the long duration was impossible, it seemed that the problem was suspected to be due to poor signal reception because the plane was moving object. Problem statement. There are many flights that are not monitored by the ADS-B system in Eastern Indonesia's airspace. Objectives, performance analysis of the ADS-B system in order to create a reliable aircraft surveillance system. Problem limitations in this thesis: real flight data analysis to mapping problems, Papuan airspace, design a simple ADS-B system placement as a surveillance system solution. And then hypothesis on average, the Eastern Indonesian airspace has not been supervised by the ADS-B system and there are there are no satellites that provide ADS-B system services, so ADS-B only use ground transmitter. contribution of this thesis is improving a reliable aircraft surveillance system for Eastern Indonesian airspace. Concept analysis. In this study, the author collects all data regarding the airplanes that will be used as samples in the analysis by the author, whether the aircraft has the ADS-B system installed or not. After that, the author also collects all the data that will be analyzed in this study, as well as an explanation of the data. From the data obtained by the author analyzed the ADS-B system from 5 types of aircrafts, like Boeing 737-800NG, Boeing 737-900ER, Airbus 320, and ATR 72. From ADS-B availability data, the aircraft, it already has the ADS-B system installed in it. The author analyzed flight data from the coordinate heading, airspeed, altimeter, and reporting facility of a flight. The data is graphed to facilitate visualization in research. This flight data is actual data or real data. The author takes flight data from different routes on Papua Island with different planes and the same 5 flights on each route. The first, flight from Jayapura to Merauke. The analysis of the data, it can be seen that there was an interrupt or unsupervised surveillance by the ADS-B system. The surveillance was lost midway and was not monitored until the plane landed at Merauke Airport. During the flight, around 35 persons were not monitored because the data was only an estimate. The color red, 35% were not monitored because the data is only estimate. Flights are only supervised from Jayapura only. The problem was consistent for 5 flights in this route. And then flight from Nabire to Jayapura, the same problem. The analysis of data, it can be seen that there was an interrupt or unsupervised control by the ADS-B system. The surveillance was lost midway and was not monitored until the plane lands at Nabire Airport. During the flight, the color is red. Around 31% were not monitored because the data was only an estimate. Flights are only supervised from Jayapura Airport. The problem was consistent for 5 flights in this route. And then, flight from Wamena to Jayapura. The analysis of the data carried out, it can be seen that there was an interrupt or unsupervised control by the ADS-B system. The surveillance was lost in the middle of the route and was not monitored until the plane landed at Wamena Airport. During the flight, the color is red. Around 19% were not monitored because the data was only estimate. Flights are only supervised from Jayapura Airport. The problem was consistent for 5 flights in this route. And then flight from Ujung Pandang to Jayapura, Makassar to Jayapura. The analysis of the data, it can be seen that there was an interrupt or unsupervised control by the ADS-B system. The surveillance was lost midway and was not monitored until the plane lands at Jayapura. During the flight, the color is red. around 38% were not monitored because the data was only an estimate. Flights are only supervised from Jayapura Airport. Again and again, the problem was consistent for 5 flights in this route. And the last one, flight from Soekarno-Hatta to Jayapura. The analysis of the data, it can be seen that there was an interrupt or unsupervised control by the ADSB system. The surveillance was lost in the middle of the route. During the flights, the color is red, around 24% were not monitored because the data is only an estimate. Flights are only supervised from Jayapura Airport again. Again and again, the problem is consistent for 5 flights in this route. Link budget analysis. From the link budget analysis, the ADSB system only has a few losses, such as miscellaneous loss and free space loss. There is no loss of buildings, hills, vehicle, which are on land because the transmitter is in the height, on aircraft, the height. The free space path loss is around 138 decibel. And then, well, the coverage of the ADSB system is estimated to be around 432 kilometers. That way, 3 additional ADSB are needed so that they can cover or supervise all airspace in Papua Island. From the analysis conducted by the author, there are other parts that have not been monitored by ADSB, such as the Banda Sea, North Maluku, and North Sulawesi. In the mainland area, only adding the ADSB receiver system so that it can monitor flights in the airspace. Whereas in sea areas, can use ADSB receiver buoys, but you must have electricity and internet connection. Conclusion: there are still many airports on the island of Papua that don't have ADSB supervision. Only Sentani Jayapura Airport has an ADSB receiver. There is no specific satellite to support the ADSB system, yet there are no space satellites that support aircraft surveillance system using ADSB. ADSB still ground-based or land-based transmitters such as secondary surveillance radar and primary surveillance radar, not from space satellite. A lot of lost flight data and not recorded by the ADSB system. The 5th, there is a long data availability gap. The 6th, the coordinates are still recorded, but the coordinates are not from the satellite, but from the PSR, primary surveillance radar, on secondary surveillance radar. And the last one, by adding 3 ADSB receiver monitoring stations at Mopah Merauke International Airport and Timika Airport and Babu Airport, they can monitor all flights in Papua's airspace. Suggestion: increase ground station receiver of the ADSB system in the eastern part of Indonesia, especially the island of Papua. Meanwhile, on the sea, you can see buoys and ships to provide ADSB surveillance services. Satellite-based ADSB surveillance in space or ship carrying ADSB receiver can be considered. The last one, expand the analysis in other parts of the country to find out the current performance of the ADSB surveillance system. Thank you. Halo teman-teman, sekarang jam 16, hampir jam 5. Sidang barusan selesai dan dinyatakan lulus bersyarat karena ada beberapa yang harus direvisi dan diperbaiki. Jadi ya sudah urusan sudah selesai dan saya harus ngerjain itu secepatnya agar bisa yudisium di tanggal 24 Februari. Presentasi berjalan lancar. Tadi lumayan dicecar sama salah satu dosen penguji, luar biasa, amazing. Jadi nggak jadi masalah, it's okay, no problem with that. Biasa namanya sidang juga ya, pasti begitu gitu kan. Yes, wes lah. Jadi ya saya sudah menyelesaikan studi saya di S2. Nggak tahu nanti S3 pengen sih, tapi nggak mau ke teknik lagi, males, pengennya filsafat. Kayaknya keren gitu, seru filsafat gitu lah teman-teman. Oke, saya harus pulang dulu hari ini, malam ini. Ya hari inilah, karena udah sore, udah mau malam. Sampai jumpa di video berikutnya. Bye. Doa yang terbaik buat saya, Pak.
Oke, doa yang terbaik buat nilai A.
Nilai A.
Thank you banyak.
Thank you banyak. Makasih Pak, pulang Pak ya.
Iya Pak.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Tos dulu Pak, maaf kiri Pak ya. Ayo kita pulang, bye. Oke, saatnya kita pulang. Udah lah, kita langsung revision di kosan. Harus selesai cepat.